in this module we will discuss about important modes of energy transfer, and thermodynamics as such is very critically linked with these modes of energy transfer, that is heat and work. So, there are many classical definitions of these two terminologies, and we will first start with work. Work is done by a system if the sole effects on the surroundings could be that of raising of a weight. So, this is a very classical statement. So, it says that if there is a raising of a weight, that gives a flavor of work done. So, raising of a weight is conceptually representing a situation when you are pulling up something against gravity. That means you are creating a displacement against resistance. So, raising of a weight does not technically mean that literally it has to be raising of a weight. So, what it means is that it is essentially the displacement against a resistance. So, raising of a weight, this should not be literally interpreted, but it should be interpreted as displacement against a resistance. That means if there is no resistance, then there is no work done. See, many of you who are attending this course are now undergraduate students in different engineering colleges, universities and so on. When you were students in higher secondary level, you expected that there will be a lot of resistance for you to establish a career in terms of getting an entrance in a good university or good engineering college or good institute. So, you were really fighting against a lot of resistance and working in a very tough and competitive environment. But now that you have come to an engineering college, you believe that life is like a luxury. So, you may be attending class every day, but you are gaining no value, you are not doing any work, because it is like no resistance against you, you are just having a happy go life. So, basically in terms of doing a work, if you are having no resistance, you are doing no work. So, this is a very important philosophical aspect of thermodynamics. If you have to succeed, if you have to do a net work, you have to overcome resistance. If there is no resistance, there is no thermodynamic work done. So, now to define this in more concrete terms, we will discuss about various types of work. The first example that we will discuss is work done by a system comprising a simple compressible substance undergoing a quasi equilibrium process due to a moving boundary. So, we will get back to the old example that we referred to in one of the previous modules. Let us say there is a piston like this. So, there are two important keywords that we are considering. One is simple compressible substance, another is quasi equilibrium process. So, let us recall what is a simple compressible substance. A simple compressible substance is such a substance where the pressure, volume, temperature related effects are much more important than the non-thermal effects like the electrical effect, magnetic effect and so on. So, in such a scenario there is a system boundary like this. This system boundary is moving in a quasi equilibrium process. How it can move in a quasi equilibrium process? I have given you one such example earlier. So, there are many such small loads. You remove one of these loads and the piston will displace slightly. So, let us say it comes to a new position like this. So, there is a displacement of dx. So, what is the elemental work done due to this displacement? Let us apply the definition. We are calling this as delta W. See, it is very important that why we are using this delta and not dW, and we will come into this to a moment, come to this in a moment. So, what is this? Delta W is F resistance into dx. This is the basic definition. This definition is valid no matter whether the system is undergoing a quasi equilibrium process or not. But if we are able to describe this resistance force in terms of pressure of the system, considering that the system is in equilibrium, then it is a quasi equilibrium process. How? So, let us draw the free body diagram of the piston. So, if you draw the free body diagram of the piston, So, the resistance force, what is the resistance force? The resistance force, can you tell what is the resistance force? It is the mass of the piston into G plus the total load W, the blue colored load, plus P atmosphere into A. This is the atmospheric pressure is P atmosphere. For equilibrium, the resultant force is 0. That means F resistance equal to P into A. F resistance is P into A. Okay. So, F resistance into dx, the moment that you write this as P into A into dx, you are assuming that it is in equilibrium. So, F resistance into dx for any process, but when you replace F resistance by P into A, that means you are committing that it is in mechanical equilibrium. So, it must be a quasi equilibrium process. Now, A into dx is dV, the change in volume, therefore, this is P dV. So, sometimes it is loosely called as P dV work. Now, the question is that there could also be other forms of work like electrical work, magnetic work and so on, but we are not considering that those components here, because we are considering that it is a simple compressible substance. Now, the very important question, why delta W? It is delta W because we are now trying to distinguish these two symbols d and delta. So, when we write d of x, we mean that this change only depends on the initial x and the final x, not the thermodynamic path by which it has undergone the change. For example, when we write integral of dV from 1 to 2, this is V2 minus V1, does not matter whether the system has undergone a change in state by an adiabatic process, isothermal process, whatever process, the change in volume is final volume minus initial volume. This type of function, this type of differential is called as exact differential. And the function over which this exact differential may be operated is called as point function. Point function only depends on the endpoints, does not depend on the thermodynamic path by which the change in state has taken place. That means precisely, for example, in the PV diagram, if you draw a PV diagram, say this is state 1, this is state 2. So, there could be a change in state by various ways. One is this, another may be this, and the work done will be integral P dV, that means area under this diagram. So, clearly how P varies with V depending on this total work done will be dependent. So, even if you fix up the state points 1 and 2, the work done will depend also on the path that connects 1 and 2, not just the end state points. That is why this is called as path function and this is inexact differential. So, let me give you a couple of examples. So, let us define as example 1 PV equal to constant. This is a thermodynamic path. Typically this is the path for an isothermal process of an ideal gas. Okay. So, the work done is integral delta W from 1 to 2 is integral P dV C ln V2 by V1. C is either P1 V1 or P2 V2. So, P1 V1 ln V2 by V1. Example 2, PV to the power n equal to constant. So, W12 so, this is C into V to the power minus n plus 1 by minus n plus 1 instead of C you can write P V to the power n. So, this is P2 V2 minus P1 V1 by 1 minus n. P2 V2 minus P1 V1 divided by 1 minus n. Okay. Now, these are examples of work done. If you are thinking of that there is a moving system boundary and the system is undergoing a quasi equilibrium process. Okay. We have to keep in mind that there are other forms of work. So, the next example that we will talk about is a very important example. This is called as flow energy or flow work. Flow energy or flow work. So, let us say that there is a pipe and there is a fluid that is entering the pipe. So, because the fluid has pressure, the fluid must do some work to maintain the flow in presence of pressure. So, let us say that there is a displacement of the fluid by an amount dx, and let us say A is the cross sectional area of the pipe. Why we have considered a differentially small region? The reason is that the pressure will not vary significantly over this region, otherwise the pressure may vary. So, now what you have here is you can write this as the work done is P into A into dx. What is the work done per unit mass? So, work done per unit mass to maintain flow in presence of pressure. So, this divided by mass, mass is the density times the volume of this is A into dx. So, this is nothing but P by rho or P into specific volume. This P by rho is something which those of you who are familiar with fluid mechanics have learned the significance of this term while dealing with the Bernoulli's equation. So, this P by rho, and we have discussed that 1 by density is specific volume. So, pressure into specific volume, this is nothing but work done per unit mass to maintain flow in presence of pressure. This is called as flow energy or flow work. There could also be an example of something called as shaft work. What is shaft work? So, if there is a shaft, that is a rotating, say, cylindrical device, it is undergoing a rotation. So, then also it is overcoming a resistance, and then the corresponding work is nothing but the torque times the angular velocity, the rate of work done. So, here the rate of work done is normally expressed rather than the work itself, that is the torque times the angular velocity. So, this is the shaft work. There could also be some other forms of work. Some other forms of work, what are these? Like, say, work due to stretching of a wire. Work done because of stretching of a wire, and this is due to surface tension effect. Then aligning of ions in a paramagnetic salt due to magnetic field. Third is electrical work. Like if you have a electrical potential E and there is a charge dq flowing in presence of that, then the electrical work is minus E dq. Now question is, when this minus sign I have put, the question comes that when do we consider the work as positive and when do we consider the work as negative. So this is something which is the sign convention that will be based on what we developed, what we adopt. So if we say that work done is positive when energy leaves from the system to the surroundings. So if energy is leaving from the system to the surrounding, that is the system is getting rid of energy by utilizing some of that to do work, then that is called as positive work. So energy transfer from the system by our sign convention to the surroundings, this we call as positive work as per our sign convention. Somebody else may take a different sign convention, but this is the sign convention that is commonly taken in almost all thermodynamic states. So now there are certain important things about work. First of all, work is not a property. Why work is not a property? See, pressure is a property, volume is a property, but work is not a property. Why work is not a property? Mathematically, the differential of work is not represented by an exact differential. It is not represented by dW but delta W. That means the work done does not depend on only the end states, but it also depends on the process that connects the two end states. So that shows that differential of work is not exact differential, it is inexact differential, and therefore work is not a property. The second important point is work is an energy in transient. That means the system does not possess any work, it is a system boundary phenomenon that is taking place during a change of state. There is an analogous quantity in thermodynamics which is also very important, and that is heat. So what is heat? Heat is defined as an energy in transient due to temperature difference. So that means heat is an energy which a system does not possess. Sometimes very loosely say that this bucket of water contains 1 joule of heat or 1 kilojoule of heat. This is completely wrong, because heat cannot be possessed by a system. Heat can only be transferred from across a boundary, either from a system to the surrounding or from surrounding to the system, based on the temperature difference, and it stops when the temperature difference is nullified, when there is no temperature difference. So in that way, heat is also not a property, and why it is not a property is very clear, that the heat transfer from state 1 to state 2 depends on what kind of process it is. For example, if it is an adiabatic process, there is no heat transfer. If it is an isothermal process, there is heat transfer. So we can say that if we call Q as heat, then the differential of heat, that is delta Q, this is inexact differential. So, this is also inexact differential. So, in this way there is a lot of similarity between heat and work. Only dissimilarity may be as per the sign convention that we adopt. If there is a system like this, if there is heat transferred to it, this we call as positive. Again our sign convention. So, heat transferred to the system is positive, that means energy supplied to the system in terms of heat is positive, energy leaving the system in form of work is positive work. That is our sign convention. Somebody else may adopt a sign convention that no matter whether it is heat or work, if energy is entering the system it is positive, if it is leaving it is negative, or the other way, that can also be a sign convention. But we have to stick to a sign convention and write appropriate expressions using these sign conventions when we write the mathematical forms of various laws of thermodynamics, which is the main agenda of this course. The first law we will discuss as a follow up of this. Now, before doing that, let us close today's discussion through a worked out example that I want to discuss. This is the second chapter that we are considering. So, these problem numbers we are describing by like problem number starting with 1 is for chapter 1. We have not discussed any problems so far as the properties of pure substances go, and we will discuss that in the tutorial session that we will be having next. But today we will be discussing about one example problem. This is the problem 2.1 that is given here, and you can look into the problem statement. So, the problem statement is like this: a piston cylinder arrangement initially contains air at 150 kilopascal and 400 degrees centigrade. The setup is allowed to cool to ambient temperature of 20 degrees centigrade. Is the piston resting on the stops in the final state, and what is the final pressure in the cylinder, and what is the work done by air during this process. So, then if you look into this, so let me try to draw a schematic of this problem. It is of course given in the problem sheet that will be there with you. So, there is a, so let me draw the schematic. This is problem 2.1. So, there are stops, so this is 1 meter, this is okay, I have not followed the exact proportion, this is also 1 meter. So, it is given state 1. So, the system is air, this is the system. State 1 is P1 is equal to 150 kilopascal, T1 is equal to 400 degrees centigrade. State 2, T2 is equal to 20 degrees centigrade. So, at state 2 is the piston against the stop. How will you calculate? see state 2, if it is at the stops, then V2 is V1 by 2. Why? This is 1 meter, if it is against the stops, so first initial volume is 1 plus 1, 2 meter times the cross sectional area. The final volume, if it comes down to the stops, it is 1 into cross sectional area. Therefore, V2 is V1 by 2. And if you assume air as ideal gas, which is not a bad assumption, then P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2. V2 is V1 by 2. T2 and T1 are given. T1 is 400 degree centigrade, that is 673.15 Kelvin. Remember that for using this formula all temperatures must be absolute temperature, and T2 is 293.15 Kelvin. So, if you calculate all this, you will get P2 is 130.7 kilopascal, which is less than P1. So, P2 is less than P1. See, P1 was 150 kilopascal and T1 400 degree centigrade. That means the resistance pressure is also 150 kilopascal if the state 1 is in equilibrium. Now, here at state 2 the resistance pressure is still 150 kilopascal, but the inside pressure is 130.7 kilopascal. So, basically the piston wants to come further down, only the stops is preventing it to come further down. So, the piston is at the stops. So, when the piston is at the stops, so that is the, so if you want to draw a PV diagram, you have state 1. From state 1 at constant pressure the volume has decreased. Why at constant pressure? See, we are assuming that in all problems that we are discussing in thermodynamics, here the process is quasi equilibrium. So, that means initial pressure is 150 kilopascal. So, the resistance pressure is also 150 kilopascal. So, if it is coming down, it is coming down slowly, so that at all intermediate states its pressure inside is also same as the resistance pressure, which is 150 kilopascal. And then when it has come to the stops, then, so this is not state 2, then at constant volume, that is at the stops, the pressure is falling to 130.7 kilopascal. So, then this is state 2. So, what is the work done? See, this part is not important so far as the work done is concerned. Work done is integral of P dV from state 1 to state 2A, because from 2A to 2 there is no change in volume. Because there is no change in volume, there is no work done. So, this is nothing but this what is this pressure? This pressure is 150 kilopascal. So, this is P1 into V2A minus V1. So, if you put the values, then this is minus 96.6 kilojoule per kg, if you consider 1 kg of air. So, how do you do that? You can use PV is equal to RT. So, if you write it for, let us say m is equal to 1 kg as the system. So, you can use PV is equal to RT and replace PV by RT. So, it is basically R into T2 minus T1. Okay. So, you have T1 and T2 known, and then you can calculate the total work done. So, this is just one example. We could discuss about several other examples, and I want to plan all these examples carefully so that we can get a better grasp of this particular way of problem solving that is so much typical to thermodynamics. See, one final remark that I want to make before closing today's session is that thermodynamics, if you think of the algebra involved, actually it is much simpler as compared to the algebra involved in many other subjects in engineering. But thermodynamics is often considered to be a tough subject from the point of view of many students, because the problems are not stereotype problems. For each and every other problem, you have to use a different outlook and a very fundamental approach to address the problem. So, it is not that you have one stereotype formula and you plug in the value in the formula to solve a problem. For different problems, you may have to use different concepts and different ideas based on the fundamentals that you have learned, and that is why thermodynamics may become so interesting, at the same time a little bit tricky. So, with this little bit of note, we conclude today's session. In the next session, we will be having tutorials. The tutorials will cover both properties of pure substances as well as heat and work, but we have to keep in mind that we will try to balance the tutorial in such a way that maybe a couple of problems we will solve from properties of pure substances and a couple of problems we will solve based on heat and work. And regarding properties of pure substances, I will start with a simple sort of a short question through which I will discuss one very important concept which we did not discuss during our earlier session of discussion of properties of pure substances because of constraints in time, and that is essentially the concept of triple point. So, we have discussed about the concept of critical point, but we have not discussed about the concept of triple point so far, and we will discuss a short question through which we will introduce the concept of triple point. Then we will work out maybe a couple of problems on properties of pure substances and maybe another couple of problems related to either work or heat, and that will complete the agenda for the next tutorial, which will warm us up for the subsequent discussion, which is one important agenda of this particular course, and that is the first law of thermodynamics. Thank you very much. So, we will meet again for the next tutorial. Thank you.